It's seeing what has not been seen. It's doing what has not been done. So sometimes you're trying to explain or you're trying to get people to see what you see and to hear what you hear. And the mind is the problem, right? Because we have to go into our minds and start understanding that the mind is really the heart and it's the ears of our height. The mind is the heart and the ears of our height. Now, y'all read about that in the book. I ain't going to say too much, but if you got it, you got it. Your mind.
Yo, what's good, UNLIT warriors? It's your guy, Kelzison, because you know I listen from heaven to earth to meet to you and settle it all in love. Join me on Ignite the UNLIT, the dopest personal development podcast your ass gonna ever listen to. So stay unfiltered, stay unlit, and as always, be free, live your mega life.
What's good, UNLIT warriors? It's your guy, Kelzison, because you know I listen from heaven to earth to meet to you and settle it all in love. I am the freedom coach, architect of the Smith Price Tag Framework. And y'all keep saying, Kels, what is this Smith Price Tag Framework? Well, let me tell you. The Smith Price Tag Framework is the way we are going to revolutionize leadership. Now, I've been in workplaces and work environments that's kind of been toxic. I've been in a lot of them, and I've been in a managerial position, right? And I know that there are policy differences from how we actually do the work. So I said, there should be a leadership book. Unbeknownst to me, little did I know. God was like, hey, bruh. It's a leadership book, but it's authentic leadership. It starts within. It starts with you. It starts with you being unlit. It starts with you being ignited. And it starts with you having the foundational principles of understanding who you are. And so I started saying, okay, if that starts with me, then what do I need to do? And God said, get unlit. And I was like, but I'm the lit dude. I am lifted, I'm inspired, and I am transformed. He said, why? I was like, I don't know. He was like, write the vision. So a lot of us want to go through these weight loss journeys, or we want to go through all of this. And today I'm wearing a weight loss journey, and I'll tell you why. But we don't imagine who we are. We don't imagine what we can be. We forget the one principle that matters. Write the vision. And a lot of people say, I've gone through these journeys, and they're like, I want to do this, I want to do that, I want to do that. I'm like, okay, how do you want to do it? And we're all working on plans. And God's like, I didn't ask y'all to be working on plans and beg for plans. What I asked you to do, what I needed you to do, what I wanted you to do was write the vision and make it plain. Write the vision and make it. So now here I stand talking to you about unlit leadership. And when I'm talking about unlit leadership, what am I asking you to do? I'm asking you to be unconventional. And we'll get into all of that later. But today you see me wearing, this is boot camp P-Days. Man, P-Days in boot camp is probably the most scariest, interesting, transformational time you'll ever have. It's the first days that you arrive to boot camp and you literally get acclimated to the culture. You literally are learning their vision and the plans that they have for you so you can execute every task that was asked of you. So, you learn your Sailor's Creed. I am a United States. You learn the Sailor's Creed. You learn your ethos. You learn whatever you need to learn. And in those days, you don't know it all, right? So you have your training guide. And your training guide takes you through the system of understanding of your responsibilities and what you're supposed to do. And how do you handle these responsibilities? And once you start getting these responsibilities and you start understanding that, hey, this is the way I do it, this is the way it needs to be done, you yourself begin to see the vision that they have for you. And now you're working out your orders, your plans to make it happen. That's all we're going to do today. All I'm asking you to do is have an imagination. Get so delusional that you in your mind see and know and understand what you want to do. But you have to first believe it can happen. How do you know that you can believe it can happen? So for me, join the United States Navy. This is the original boot camp. Y'all can see how big it is. But then I remembered, under all of my Navy, the reason why I do anything are these people. I remember my vision is activism. My vision is that people be free to live their mega lives. My vision is unfiltered love. But my vision is so unfiltered that the message sometimes get convoluted, right? Now I'm always talking about, let's be lit, let's get lifted, inspired, and transformed. But it's the work that I do behind the scenes to get lifted, inspired, transformed. It's the unlit, it's the unseen, the unconventional. The difference and what it is. But all of these people remind me of the difference. I remember being in college, and Professor Broadus will always say, I am who I am because of who they were and who they still are and who they are making me to be. And that settled with me. I am who I am because of the people that have gone before me, because they had a vision, they had a dream, they had something that was bigger than them to realize I want to be a global impact. So you look at any of the people on this shirt, plus many, many more, you'll start understanding the development of the continuity of who you have to be in order to get delusional. So today I'm asking you, what is your unlit visionary law? How do you see yourself? I see myself with a six-pack. And so I work toward a six-pack. See, before I was making plans. And God was like, bro, stop begging for those plans. Start making a vision. So then I started shedding my little plans. I said, oh, okay, God, I see what you're doing here. You're going to take the weights off, whether it's the weights of the military, the weights of growing up, the weights of whatever. It's you want to shed the weight of who I am so that you can shine through, and I get it. So 75 pounds later, we are 75 pounds later. And I'm looking at the vision that was written, and now people come to me and they say, Kels, will you train me? How are you doing this nutrition thing? And I'm like, oh, what is your vision? And they're like, well, I want to lose 50 pounds. I want to lose this belly fat. I want to lose this. I'm like, but what is your vision? And then they get confused. I'm like, just tell me the definition of vision. And y'all tell me, what is vision? Write it down. What is vision? Tell me in the comments or wherever you see this video, tell me what is your definition of vision. And then I'll let you know that vision is seeing what has not been seen. It's doing what has not been done. So sometimes you're trying to explain, or you're trying to get people to see what you see and to hear what you hear. And the mind is the problem, right? Because we have to go into our minds and start understanding that the mind is really the heart and it's the ears of our height. The mind is the heart and the ears of our height. Now, y'all read about that in the book. I ain't going to say too much, but if you got it, you got it. Your mind. Let this mind be in you that was also in, for me, Christ Jesus. For you, it can be whatever it is, but let this mind be in you that was also in Christ. Who was Christ? Christ was a savior who came to the world to ensure that people had a relationship with the kingdom of heaven, so they know their rightful place, so that they can get unlit, and that they can write their visions, and that their visions can come true, and that those visions will actually have mega impact on mega people to do mega things. My vision is to be free to live your mega life, so that you become a mega leader and impact the world in a mega way. I said that like in 2008 and didn't even really understand what I was saying, but God, he was changing my heart. He was changing. So I want you to start thinking of vision as seeing beyond sight. Vision as, what do you imagine your world to be? How do you script it out to be asking you to ignite your unlit? I'm asking you to unlock your leadership. I'm asking you to take control of you so that you can authentically learn and love to be you. You've probably heard me talk about this a lot. And now let's put a framework to it. Let's put a method to it. It's great to have a vision and it's great to have a plan, but it's greater to have a solution to end it all, to get to it. So I don't care if you want to lose 5 pounds. I don't care if you want to lose 30 pounds. I don't care if your goal is 150 pounds. What do you see yourself as? What are you wearing that day? What car are you driving? How do you, when you put it in your mind, then it could be. When you put it in your mind, then it can be. I'm sitting here thinking of, I see Malcolm X at the top and Martin Luther King and Harriet and Sojourner and, Thurgood. And I think of all of them, and they all had a vision. Harriet's vision was to break away. Let's get out. So she keeps falling asleep. She keeps falling asleep. She keeps falling asleep. And every time Harriet falls asleep, her vision tells her how to get out. So God is speaking to Harriet. Hey, we got to get the slaves out. We got to get the slaves out. But the slaves aren't just coming out. Harriet is getting a download from God in this. She scripts it. And then now, here come the slaves. And then they say, well, Harry, what are you doing? And she's like, I am trying to free. This is not a safe book for safe people. If you don't like profanity and you think that it's absurd and you can't listen to it, don't. It's not for you. If you are not ready to actually change and transform and to see life at a higher standard, this is not for you. It's for people that's ready to literally do something different because they are not seeing the results in what they're currently doing. It's for people who say, you know what? I can get outside of me in order to learn something new, that I become who I want to be, who I see, what's the vision in front of me. It's for people who are ready to activate their purpose. I had to stop talking to people that wasn't ready, and I had to learn the difference between the two, and I had to learn that it's okay to not be ready. I'm just not the coach or the person or whoever you need to talk to. I'm very solution driven, so I'm always thinking of a solution. You can't just tell me something. My mind instantly goes to a solution and instantly says, okay, what's the vision? Okay, what's this? And I'm going to press you because I'm a coach. I'm not a cheerleader. Now, while I will congratulate you and cheer you because that's what coaches do, it is my job to walk you through a treatment plan that you and I agreed on. So now I become not only your coach, your accountability partner. And now we're accountable for what we said to one another. I'm not accountable for what you said to anybody else. I'm not accountable for what you've done to anybody else. But I'm accountable for what you told me you wanted to do, you wanted to accomplish, you wanted to achieve. So all of y'all said, I'm going to ignite the UNLIT. That means I'm going to press you a little bit. I'm going to hold you accountable. You paid money to be here. So I'm going to make sure you get your dollars worth. Well, there are 7 UNLIT laws. The first one that we're going to talk about is the UNLIT visionary law. I mean, y'all should have known that. We're going to talk about your imagination. We're going to talk about you getting delusional, fam. We're going to talk about you really opening up and igniting your UNLIT. When the manual comes, you will be ready because you will have the language to have it. In order for us to do anything, there has to be a language, right? We have to understand each other because communication is based off of language, but it's also based off of comprehension, and it's also based off of a set of shared ideas. To transcend race, to transcend anything, we really fall into culture. It's what are our set of shared ideas. Because it doesn't matter if you black, white, green, orange, pink, yellow, whatever. God loves all the little children of the world, right? That's what I'm always hearing. But I understand that there's a division based on, this 1/8 of me that people see like, oh my God, Kel, you're black. Oh my God, I am. I was born I'm an American too, though. Oh my God. There's these layers, right? But there are things that I like with certain people. Like I am a fan of the Marvel Cinematic Universe. I'm also the Power Universe. In both universes, they're completely different, but they have the same concept to me. They have the same stories to me. And there's a group of people that I watch Marvel movies with, and there's a group of people that I watch the Power Universe with, and then there's a group of people I listen to my rock music with. There's a group of people I listen to my country music with. There's a group of people I listen to hip-hop only with. There's a group of motherfuckers that we trapping all goddamn day, nigga. You feel me? There's groups of people for the different parts of the culture that I like. And so I vibe with those cultures. Sometimes I'm chilling. Sometimes I'm lit. Sometimes I'm hype. It's the culture that I choose to be a part of in that moment. So when we're talking about vision, we're also talking about decision. Our vision is a 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 decision. Our vision makes us decide where, who, how, what, when. You get it? A lot of us get stuck in the why. We're like, oh, why? What's your why? What's your why? And I'm okay. I love the what's your why. I love the what's your why. But never forget your what. What are you here to do? What are you here to accomplish? What? The why is important for you. Nobody gives a shit about your motherfucking why. Everybody cares about your what. What are you selling me, Kels? What are you selling me? I'm not selling you shit. I'm selling you you. I'm selling you a way to access you. We're all selling something. What are you selling? And we all say, well, I'm not selling shit, like I just did. The reality is we're all selling something. Some of us are selling evil. Some of us are selling good. Some of us are selling, we all sell both though. Some of us are selling evil. Some of us are selling good, but we all sell both. We all have the yin and the yang, the good and the bad, because we choose to eat from the tree of the knowledge of good and evil. But if we didn't choose to eat from that tree, then we will only live in the trees that we know to eat from. So if we only ate from the tree of good, we will only produce good. Our fruit will only be good. Our visions will only be good. If we choose to eat from the tree of evil, then shit, you're going to be on some evil demon time type shit. Just how life works, right? But because we eat from both, we access both. So I am literally under the belief that life changes one moment, 1 second, 1 minute, 1 milli, one thing at a time, one thing at a time, one thing at a time. I believe just life changes one thing at a time. A lot of us, we have these grandiose ideas, great grand promises. Oh, I want to be a billionaire. And yes, that's cool. You first got to make $1. That's cool that you want to lose 50 pounds. You first got to lose 1. Start with one thing. It's great to have the big grand idea. Never lose sight of your big picture. But remember, it's your big picture, which means you can erase it, you can shade it, you can sketch it, you can write it how you want it. Write the vision, make it plain, so that other people, I'm running off of their vision to make my vision plain. I'm like, well, man, Thurgood was the first to do what? Martin was the first to do what? What? Emilio was the first to do what? It didn't matter who it was. Somebody was the first because they had a vision. Their vision was plain. They stopped begging God for plans and start asking for solutions. So today in our UNLIT visionary law, take 10 minutes to visualize the life you want. Don't say, I want to just get rid of belly fat, because that's just not the way the shit works. We'll talk about nutrition later in the nutrition section of this. But when we're talking about our vision, take 10 minutes to visualize what you want. I used to say, I want to lose 50 pounds. Well, guess what? I lost like 40 something and I don't know, gained 60 back. Like, oh man. And I didn't understand why, right? It's because I had no vision. I kept looking at the scale. I wanted to see instead of looking at, oh, you know what? I actually want a 6-pack. Now I see the vision of I want a 6-pack, right? And now I say, oh, when I look in the mirror, I don't need to get on the scale or anything. Now I still do because I check my measurements. The scale lets me know how I look, and I say, oh, I can see my goal. I've reached my goal, or I've not reached my goal. When I was so big and bulky, I couldn't see a lot of the stuff that I needed to do, right? Because it was layers, literally, like rows, layers. Now, some people are like, you weren't even that big. Y'all don't have no clue what it looked like under them clothes. We just gonna keep it like that. But now, I'll be ready to show y'all, like, due time. But when we're looking at that, we have to say, what do we see? Now, after you visualize for 10 minutes, the next thing, write it down. Don't write the plan. Write the goal. And then wait for the plan. You'll get the plan. There's systems and methods to everything we want to do in this life. Sometimes the system and the method that we're trying to do is just not feasible at the moment, because everything we do, and you'll hear me say this, I don't know, forever. Everything we do is about time and relevance. Time and relevance. And I was one of those people that used to think, God, I'm born in the wrong time. I'm born in the wrong time, God. But then I knew I couldn't be born during slavery times, because my mouth would have just been like, hey, go on and just take him out. I'd be like, yeah, y'all just might as well go on and take me out, because I'm not about to just bow. That's just the way life works. And you got to know you. You got to know your personality. You got to know what you vibe with. So after you write it down, you got your goal. Now, do one thing. Where did I start this? With this one thing. Do one thing today to move you closer. I don't know if it's the same, but I don't care if it's to write down something, to make a phone call, to send an email. Even listening to this video may be a step for you. Don't compare your steps to what somebody else's day one step is. Because your step may be what you think is small and what somebody else think is small, but it's a step. A step is a step. Now, we ain't about to stay at step one long ass time. You ain't about to be like, oh, I sent the email 2 weeks ago. And I'm like, nah, that was 2 hours ago. All right, let's get to this next step. Because sometimes we need that guidance and that motivation. And that's what coaches do. We say, hey, what the fuck you doing? That was a great play. What are you doing though? Okay, what could you have done to improve that? It's always about learning to improve and self-growth. I don't care if I do get the 6-pack, because by the time I get the 6-pack, I'm like, oh my God, I want an 8-pack. By the time I get an 8-pack, I want a 12-pack and a 16. As far as I can go, because I'm not limited in who I am today. I don't even know who I can be. I don't know the expansion of what can happen. Eyes haven't seen and ears haven't heard. Sounds familiar? I started actually believing the stuff I was reading. I started believing the stuff I was singing in songs. I literally started believing it. And I want you to have that same belief. I want you to take these 21 days to have that same power, that same enthusiasm, that same charisma to say, you know what? I believe in all the shit I want to do. You got to believe it. You got to believe it. Who got to believe it? You got to believe it. It's not until you believe it, visualizing it. When you believe it, you can start visualizing. When you believe it, you can start visualizing it. And so, one of my good friends, it's always about the, oh, look, this thing followed me. I forgot about that. It's always about the merch. Y'all know, fuck people, forgive until change kindles. But one of my good friends reminded me once, I love my heroes here, right? But it's heroes in my life now that I look up to. I look up to some of y'all. I'll be like, yo, you did that. That's fire. Because your accomplishment is heroic. What we do every day is heroic. Us living is heroic. So one of my friends was like, no excuses. And so today, when we work out, when we get ready to do the nutrition part of our day, let's put on that same garment, whatever that garment is. You get it? You put on the garment. Y'all be wanting to put on the garment of praise, and that shit is cute. Praise only gets you so far if you ain't doing the work. Just saying. So look, no excuse today. Javon Stewart say throw the X's up, and I'll laugh. But seriously, no excuse today. There's no excuse today. There's no excuse today. There's no excuse today why you can't. As always, stay unfiltered, stay unlit, and be free to live your mega life.